What is going on? Danger Close MMA. Here we're going to talk about Bryce. Hitler did nothing wrong. Mitchell. Oh boy, do I have to talk about a little bit of what Bryce Mitchell, brother, said today. As I'm sure you've all heard in his Ark Insanity podcast, I think, episode 1. He's having an hour-long yap session with his co-host. I think the guy's name was Rolly Delgado, who was actually sane. And Bryce Mitchell, he's talking about some things. He's talking about giants building the Bible. Word for word, he says this. But, it's kind of par for the course for Bryce Mitchell. And you know what? I kind of believe in a lot of conspiracy shit. Giants building the Bible. I guess that's not the craziest shit you could say. But, for Bryce Mitchell, that's just another day of talking, if you've ever heard him talk before. Then he says Elon Musk's rockets are CGI. They're not real. I don't know how this guy could say that. That's insane. But, again, typical Bryce Mitchell stuff. He says Starlink is not satellite. It's on balloons, though. So it does exist. It's just on balloons, not satellite. Again, typical Bryce Mitchell shit. You guys, you know what you're here for, though. And I'm going to get to it. I'm just giving you the rundown of the conversation beforehand. Regular, average Bryce Mitchell stuff that's still off the wall. Then they talk about Elon Musk's salute. And actually, the co-host, Rolly Delgado, he had some sane thoughts about it. He thought it wasn't an actual Nazi salute. It was just Elon Musk kind of being a goofy goober. This is how the whole Hitler thing started. They're talking about Elon Musk, and he does the little salute thing he does at the end that went viral for looking like a Nazi salute, which it does kind of look like it. I'm not going to lie. Now, is Elon Musk actually a Nazi? When is he actually trying to do the salute? I don't think so. I think he was just being a goofy goober kind of semi-autistic guy that he is, and he just did that, and it looked wrong in the moment. He said I think what Elon Musk said officially was he was saying his heart goes out to people. I kind of get that. You put your hand to your chest and stick it out from me to you. My heart goes out to you. I can see where he's coming from. I don't think he was actually hitting the old SS Nazi salute. And this co-host said the same thing. He's like, I don't think he actually was. And then Bryce Mitchell, he's like, oh man, please. I think he says, please keep going. I have some very interesting thoughts on this topic. And from there, I'm like, oh man, here we go. And what gets into it is Bryce Mitchell says, word for word, Hitler was a good guy based upon his own research. You can look this up, Ark Insanity podcast, episode 1. I think it's around the 1 hour and 18-minute mark. He starts saying this stuff. Hitler was a good guy based upon his own research. He then continues to say that he would go, Bryce Mitchell says he would go fishing with Hitler before he got on meth. And I quote, he was a good guy before he got on the meth. Then he starts defending Hitler, saying that he was just standing up for his country, brother. The greedy Jews were greedy, man. They were ruining Germany back in the day, and that he wanted to purify his country. And the co-host, he just knows he's cooked. You can look at his face. I mean, look at his face right here, man. This guy, he knows he's fucking done for, and he's trying to save it. Bryce Mitchell keeps going. He's saying Hitler was targeting queers and defending his country. And he says word for word, at some point in his life, he was all right. And you know what? Maybe back in the painting days, before all that shit, maybe he was okay. But dude, then Bryce Mitchell, I'm like, okay, that's still whack. But if you're talking about when he was a kid, or maybe like before the crazy ideology stuff, okay, maybe. And he goes on to say, was Hitler perfect? No. But, what do you mean but? You can't keep, there's no but there. There's no but there. I'm sorry. But anyways, Bryce, keep going. He says, no, but he was fighting for his people. Okay, buddy, sure. Then I think probably the craziest part of this interview, Bryce Mitchell straight up denies the Holocaust. He says it himself. You can go watch the podcast. He says the Holocaust didn't happen. They didn't have enough space to burn 6 million bodies, dude. And then he starts saying that the reason all those people died wasn't because they killed them. It's because they were already starving and they couldn't feed 10,000 prisoners. He was just defending his country. Whatever. Co-host knows he's cooked. Um, then Bryce Mitchell says that Elon Musk is worse than Hitler and talks about Hitler in his prime like he's a fucking athlete, like he's an MMA fighter, dude. He's oh, Hitler in his prime, brother. He was alright, but you know, the washed Hitler after he got knocked out, you know, he was the bad guy, and it's just insane. I knew Bryce Mitchell was out there. Obviously, the whole flat Earth stuff, brother. If I hold you flat against the Earth, how are you gonna tell me it's round? It's flat when I'm holding you against it. But this is some next level retardation from Bryce Mitchell. I like him as a fighter, but man, I don't know if I can like him anymore. This is it's funny. It is funny, but he actually thinks this. It's just insane. I had to make a quick video on this. And yeah, that's the news on Bryce Mitchell. Again, you can go watch it yourself. It's on YouTube on Bryce Mitchell's channel. Yeah. Crazy stuff.